Imagine a world without pain, without hunger, without fear. A world where every need is met, where every moment is filled with peace and beauty. This was the world God created, a paradise called Eden. And in this perfect garden lived the very first humans, Adam and Eve. But even in paradise, there was one rule, one command that would test their hearts, their minds, and their trust in God. One choice that would change the course of history forever. Eden was more than a garden. It was a place of endless wonder. Rivers sparkled like diamonds, trees bore fruits of every kind, and the air was filled with the songs of birds. God walked with Adam and Eve in the cool of the day, guiding them, speaking with them, and sharing the joy of his creation. They had everything they could ever need. Yet God gave them one rule. You may eat freely from every tree in the garden, but do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For the day you eat of it, you will surely die. Adam and Eve lived in perfect harmony with nature, with God, and with each other, blissful and carefree. But curiosity and choice were about to change everything. One day, a serpent slithered into the garden, a creature clever and cunning. It approached Eve with smooth words and twisted questions. Serpent said with voice slightly sly, whispered, "Did God really say you cannot eat from any tree?" Eve, being curious and hesitant, replied, "We may eat the fruit from the trees in the garden, but not from the tree in the middle, or we will die." Serpent continued by saying, "You will not surely die. God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like him, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the tree. Its fruit glowed with colors she had never seen. She reached out, torn between trusting God and the temptation of knowing what was forbidden. The serpent's words echoed in her mind, promising wisdom, freedom, and power. And in that moment of curiosity, Eve made a choice. Eve took the fruit and ate. She handed it to Adam, who also ate. In an instant, something changed. Their eyes were opened, not to wisdom as promised, but to shame. They realized they were naked. Fear and guilt filled their hearts for the first time. Adam, with trembling voice, said, "We have disobeyed, we have sinned." They sewed fig leaves together, trying to cover themselves, trying to hide from God, the one who had given them life, love, and the gift of paradise. God then called to them, "Adam, where are you?" Adam answered, "Hiding behind a tree. I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam replied, "The woman you put here with me. She gave me the fruit, and I ate." Eve said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Even in their shame and fear, God's words revealed the truth. Sin had entered the world. Choice had consequences, and responsibility must be faced. God pronounced the consequences of their actions. To the serpent, "You will crawl on your belly, and there will be enmity between you and humans." To Eve, "I will greatly multiply your pain in childbearing. Yet your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." To Adam, "Because you listened to your wife and ate, the ground is cursed. By the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall grow, and you shall eat plants of the field." And then God expelled them from Eden, placing cherubim and a flaming sword to guard the way back. Paradise was lost, and a life of toil and struggle began. The story of Adam and Eve is more than an ancient tale. It is a mirror for our lives. Every choice we make has consequences, sometimes immediate, sometimes far-reaching. Temptation surrounds us, but trust, wisdom, and obedience guide us through life. Even in failure, there is hope. God's plan for redemption unfolds later in the Bible, reminding us that mistakes are part of the journey, but mercy and grace are always within reach. What lessons can we learn from Adam and Eve today? How do we handle choices, temptation, and accountability in our own lives? If you want to continue exploring the greatest stories of the Bible, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell to be notified of our next story, Cain and Abel, the first conflict among humans. Join us as we journey through the Bible, one story at a time, discovering lessons that still speak to our lives today.